Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Satnam, welcome back to the channel. My name is Gobind, and this is your Channel for Grace. Thank you guys so much for being here live, and thank you to those of you that are watching the replay. Today we're going to talk about the full moon in Aries that is happening tomorrow, but through the lens of human design. And so within this lens, we get to talk about which gate the moon is in, the full moon is going to be in, which gate the sun is going to be in, because these are the opposing forces that are activating the energy of the full moon, which center these gates are in, and how that affects us, personally. And I always recommend that you have your chart with you so that you can compare to your own chart, look at if you have any of these gates that we're going to be talking about, and give you a better idea of what will be your experience of this transiting energy moving through your human design chart. So thank you guys for being here. Hello, Rachel. Hello, Tori. Hello, Jill. Hello, Ariel. Hello, Alan. Welcome in, you guys. So before we dive into the human design information, I do want to invite you, if you're new, to please subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you get notified of when I go live and when I upload videos. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and feel free to leave a comment down below. And also make sure to download my free moon astrology guide, which will tell you what your psychic gifts are based off of your moon sign. It'll enter you into my email list, and I send out a weekly moon magic report and a monthly human design magic report. So we have a couple of really awesome events that are coming up in our global community. So make sure that you get onto our global community by creating your account. It's totally free to join, and these events are amazing. So we have things like a book club. I teach yoga. Tori teaches yoga as well. We have all of my courses that are held on this platform, as well as any other events that we host. And it's a really beautiful place to connect outside of the channel, outside of social media, and we've been having a great time. So our next event is tomorrow night, which is the full moon in Aries. We are going to be doing our celebration, our ritual together, and all of this happens in a Zoom webinar that you can come and be a part of. Then I will be teaching our Libra season Kundalini yoga on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. The ceremony tomorrow night is at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And then on Sunday, we have the Libra season sound bath, which is within the Akashic Records. And it's so amazing. And Tori, who is going to be doing the sound bath, she actually just got a new set of bowls. So we're going to get to listen to the new crystal bowls, and it's really amazing. So basically, there's a lot going on this week because of the energy of this full moon. And I'm sure that you have been feeling it in your life. I know I have in my life. I actually feel quite spacey lately. And I've been, talking to other people that are feeling a similar energy. Also, I did the astrology of the full moon yesterday, so you can check out that video to see what the energy of astrologically this full moon represents. So I'm going to now share my screen so we can all look at the chart together, and it'll pop up on the screen in a moment, and I'll show you what gate this is happening in. And hello, Liliana. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Hope you guys like human design, and I hope you guys have your chart ready. All right. Let me know in the chat if you can actually see the chart, and I will zoom in to what the energies we are talking about here. So you can see right here in between the ajna and the throat, there is a gate that is the 17th gate. And this is a gate that connects to the 62nd gate, which is a gate in the throat. So let's talk about these two centers in general. Okay, awesome. Thanks for that confirmation. Let's talk about these two centers in general and what they represent in human design. So the ajna center is representative of our conscious thinking, of our awareness, of our ability to kind of rationalize and how we think and how we process thoughts. Yeah, if you have this center defined, then you actually have a consistent way of thinking and processing thoughts. If you have it undefined, you have more of like an open energy that is able to kind of read the energy of other people's thoughts and the way that they process the thoughts. So you are easily influenced by other people's ideas if you have this center open. The throat center has to do with communication and speaking, but it also has to do with manifesting, because in the lens of human design, manifesting is about getting it out. And that's what the throat center does. And if you study human design in more detail, which is something we do in the Moon Goddess training, you'll know that all of the channels of the lower centers and even the higher centers, they're all trying to make their way to the throat. It's kind of like this central position in the chart because the voices come out through the throat. The manifestation of the energies come out through the throat center. And so if you have a consistent, if you have a defined throat, you have a consistent way of processing and expressing yourself and manifesting. And then if you have and the gates that connect to the throat will show you how you manifest and how you speak and how you express yourself. And if you have an undefined throat, you don't have that consistency. And so because the throat has to do with voice and speaking, you'll find yourself, if you have an undefined throat, around people that have defined throats. And then it's almost like you start to speak for them. And you may be the one that actually does all the talking, because it's almost like you don't know when to stop, and you're kind of like channeling the energy. These centers that are open, they like hone into and magnify the energy of the people around them. And so this is the interesting about human design, is that your open centers are really where you're really kind of psychic in a way, and you can really perceive into other people's energy. So anyways, this moon is happening on the 17th gate. And the sun, who is exactly opposite the moon, is on the 18th gate, which is a gate in the spleen. So we're going to be talking about both of these gates and what they represent, starting with the 17th gate. So the 17th gate, hello, welcome in, Jeanette. Thank you guys all for being here. So the 17th gate is actually known as the gate of opinion. So it has to do with like having an opinion. The quick reference theme for the 17th gate is people who form opinions by projecting their minds into the future in order to be of service. So the intention is you want to kind of perfect in a way, you want to organize, you want to rationalize, you want to, maybe make things better. And so the ideas that you have are always focusing on the future. And so that's why there's opinions of the present, because in order to change the future, we have to, criticize and judge in a positive way, in a constructive way, what is the actual reality. Having logical minds, these people need to organize the solution to their doubts into a workable concept ready to be expressed to others. They have to share a new opinion out of a mental pattern so that it can withstand both testing and criticism. This is the gate of the right eye and pattern recognition. The 17 takes the answer to the doubt from the 63/4, which is a channel just right above that, and forms an opinion from it. However, opinions at this stage of the conceptual process are merely theoretical and require the presence of the 62nd, which is the gate that the gate that this connects to provide the detail and hard fact in order to back them up. So these kinds of people have an eye for seeing and understanding structures and frameworks, but no instant ability to share what they have understood. The way the eye sees something is often very difficult to translate without an image. These are visually oriented people. This is also the gate of time distortion. These people often have an unusual sense of timing. This is really funny because Ariel and I were talking about this earlier, and the fact that there is an unusual sense of timing in the air currently, and I've been really, really feeling it intensely. So look at your chart and see if you have the 62nd gate defined, because we know that the 17th gate is going to be activated with this full moon, but you may have the 62nd. And if you have the 62nd, you're going to have the channel of acceptance completed. So the 62nd gate by itself is known as the gate of details, the preponderance of the small. These are people with an eye for detail who always need to know the facts. This is a gate that assembles, organizes, and labels the details in life in order that formulae can be clearly expressed. These people have an eye for picking out very precise and sometimes obscure details in complex situations. The gift of these people is to explain the intangible, making it accessible through clear, factual expression. This is also the gate of naming. Without the 17, these people may have all the details of a situation, but no ability to put them into a structural context. This is also a cross-species gate. These are people with the potential to communicate with and train animals. That's actually really cool. So Jeanette says she has the 62nd activated, but not the 17th. So that means that the channel that I'm going to read about next will feel like it is complete for you. So if you don't have the 62nd, then you just have the energy of the 17 being activated right now, well, with the energy of the full moon. So what is the channel of acceptance? The 1762. It's the design of an organizational being. It's part of the understanding circuit, which has to do with, like I mentioned, logically understanding things, logically understanding patterns so that you can improve upon the patterns by, being able to see like where we have flaws within our current patterns that can be perfected. So the quick reference theme of this channel is that you have a rare mental ability of seeing the bigger picture without getting bogged down in the details. So those of you that will have this channel completed by this full moon are going to feel this frequency. However, if you do not take the time to look into all the relevant facts and details, your long-term visions will inevitably falter. These people need all the facts at their fingertips before they speak. Their opinions have to be backed up by detail. If they wait to be invited to speak, they can fascinate others with their detail and knowledge. If not, they can equally bore people with all kinds of unnecessary detail. Many 1762s have a weak right eye because they have been trying to share their opinions most of the time, most of their lives, without waiting to be invited. Thus, they slowly destroy their capacity to see patterns clearly. These are natural organizers of others who are here to develop and improve logical patterns for the future. They are logical think tanks with managerial skills, though only at a mental level. Since these are visually oriented people, they work best with images. Their eye has the ability to see all the working parts of any structure, detect potential flaws, and prefer their opinion as to a possible solution based on detailed knowledge of the subject. These collective gifts are often sought after by many organizations. So you can see, hello, Jessica, welcome in. You can see that the frequencies that we're dealing with here are very mental in a way. I mean, this is the ajna and the throat. It's about, focusing on the bigger picture, but at the same time, understanding the details of the situation or any situation that you're encountering, and then being able to express it in a way that kind of focuses on solutions to any flaws that have been perceived. So it's quite an interesting energy that this full moon is activating. So it's going to be a lot of mind activity with the 17th gate. So on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have the sun. And the sun is found on the 18th gate. And you'll see how interesting these two energies collaborate together, because the 18th gate moves from the shadow of judgment to the gift of integrity to the city of perfection, whereas the 17th gate moves from the shadow of opinion to the gift of farsightedness to the city of omniscience. So the two shadows are opinion and judgment. So you can tell that if you are in the shadow of both of these energies of the sun and the moon, in terms of the human design gates, then you're going to be in the shadow of opinion and judgment, and the gene keys as well. But we can move into the energy of integrity and farsightedness, meaning seeing further away and seeing from a further perspective, in essence, seeing the bigger picture, eventually reaching the cities of perfection and omniscience, which is basically all-knowing and understanding the perfection of the cosmos, which has nothing to do with our idea of what perfection is here in the three-dimensional reality. So it's quite two interesting energies. But this 18th gate definitely has a different frequency. The 18th gate, okay, so Ariel has the 58. So it's 1858 is this channel. So that means that your 18th gate, the 18th gate, the sun right now is completing this channel for you. And you're feeling that their defined root energy, which is actually a really good energy. So what's the 18th gate? The gate of correction. Work on what has been spoilt. Quick reference theme. People with a gift for always seeing the faults in everything in order to make improvements. Now, this channel is actually my husband's only defined channel, which is a very interesting, because I see it in the way that he, processes information and the way he speaks. So it's been a very interesting energy to get to know. So I feel like I have a lot of experience with interacting with this energy. So these people always see what is wrong with things. They naturally know when any pattern is flawed and feel happiest when challenging it. These are gifted critics However, without the 58, their tendency is only to see the faults in things without having the drive to do anything about them. I know, it's so interesting. It is through this gate that we receive our deepest conditioning from our parents, regardless of whether we have it defined or not. The greatest conditioning will always come from the parent of the opposite sex. People with definition in this gate or channel have to confront their parental conditioning over the course of their lives. And this is something that my husband has done extensively. They need to learn that the very conditioning they received as children is actually the source of their gift of criticism. This gate represents the fear of authority and the challenge to that authority. So, what's the 58th gate? So does anybody here have the 58? We know Ariel does. If you have the 58 and not the 18th, you're going to have the channel of judgment activated. But let's talk about the 58th gate, which is known as the gate of vitality. It's called the joyous. People with a love of challenging authority simply for the joy of the challenge. This is so my husband. It's not even funny. These people have a zest for life, which manifests as the drive to improve things in the world around them. This gate represents the vitality to challenge conditioning and is rooted in not being satisfied in the now. This is the channel of insatiability, and this gate is the source of that energy. Without the 18th, these are people whose love of life makes them desperate to be of service in some wider way. They feel the pressure of needing to commit their energy to a process, but on their own, they do not possess the clear awareness of how improvements can be made. If they follow their strategy, they will naturally draw the 18s into their lives. Whoa, that's crazy. So, the channel of judgment. Some of us might have this channel defined right now. A design of insatiability. As someone who loves to challenge everything in life, you are recommended not to offer your criticism unless asked. Once asked, you will never encounter resistance from others. Right? I was thinking the same thing, Ariel. So this is called the channel of correction as well. These people are perfectionists. These are logical people who are, because this is also the understanding circuit. So same circuit as the 17th gate. These are logical people who are here to bring judgment in order to improve things for the sake of the whole. Oh my God, Ariel, that's insane. They are insatiable in their energy to improve. The trick for them is to realize that their drive to find perfection is designed to only be of service in the public sector rather than in their personal life. Quite an important distinction there. When they have no one or nothing to challenge, their sense of dissatisfaction can turn itself inwards, either on themselves or their friends and families. These people can end up with all kinds of relationship and family problems if they are constantly challenging their closest allies. As with all the channels between the root and the spleen, these people have a regular need for physical exercise in order to burn energy. Without the 48th gate, the gate of depth, these people can show where things have gone wrong and are ready to work on potential improvements, but they do not necessarily know what to replace an established pattern with. In other words, their role is not to come up with a solution, but only to show where the fault lies. They have to learn that it is the perfecting process that is important rather than the results. For true perfectionists, perfection can never actually exist. There are only ascending levels of mastery. Yes, this is insane information. So we have the sun on the 18th and the moon on the 17th, which are programming partners. They're opposed each other in the astrology chart. That's why you got sun opposed moon, full moon. So these are the two activations within this full moon energy for all of us. So it's, the 17th gate, the gate of opinion, and the 18th gate, the gate of correction. Oh, cool. So you guys have that whole complete energy together. Whoa. So you and my husband have that energy to connection flowing. That's crazy. Okay. Yes, I know. Okay, good. That's good. So basically, we are here dealing with the shadow of judgment and the shadow of opinion. That's what this full moon is asking us to like work through and work with. And I know in my own personal life, I have been really feeling this energy, very strongly, and having to do a lot of reflecting and watching and observing and not reacting to situations. And I have been learning so much knowledge, I've been learning so much about myself, in these last few weeks, even these last couple of months, that I feel is very, very important for me to definitely make my life better. And to release the shadow of opinion and judgment it's a huge task. It's a big deal. It's not an easy thing to do at all, especially when, we're so attached to our opinions and we're so attached to our judgment. So I know that we have to lift ourselves off of that energy and step into more integrity and farsightedness, which is about seeing from a higher perspective. It's about when you see the bigger picture of the whole thing. And that's something that I have been doing a lot lately. I've been focusing on the bigger picture of everything, and it is changing my experience of what I think I'm actually looking at. It's changing my perspective of what I think is going on by seeing the bigger picture. So I feel like personally, I've been doing a pretty good job of staying on the higher, vibrational frequency of observing instead of reacting. And it's like a tall order, right? But when we step into those higher frequencies, we can learn to understand the cosmos at work and the magic that is actually happening for all of the situations that are occurring in our lives to actually occur, like all the synchronicities that it had to happen for you to have these experiences that you're having right now in this moment. And when you see the magic of that, that's when you step into the cities, which are omniscience and perfection, like all seeing the perfection of everything. Everything is perfect just the way it is the omniscience, right? So these are quite powerful frequencies that we're dealing with. And then I didn't really talk about the spleen center, but basically the spleen is about instinctual awareness in the moment. You absolutely have to listen to the intuition that comes in the moment when it has to do with the spleen, because it doesn't repeat itself. It's not a thinking process that you can have the same thought over and over and rationalize and rationalize and rationalize. It's like you will know in a moment's notice. And if you didn't catch what just happened, you will miss it and it won't come back. So it's about paying attention. So in a way, the sun on this 18th gate is not activating the spleen center, but just pointing towards the energy of the spleen and the importance of paying attention and listening in the now. And the 17th gate in the ajna is asking us to focus on like the thought processes that are happening, at a constant, everyday level. So we're talking about the ajna and the spleen, mind and awareness in the moment. And these are the two things that we are mostly dealing with, moving through when it comes to this full moon in Aries. So when I think about all this, my interpretation of all of this is that it's a lot. Like these are not easy shadows. And I feel like right now we're definitely all being tested to show like our valor, to show like our honor, to show like our higher, like, are you walking the talk? Are you like, doing what you preach? And it's a big deal. So that is basically, what is happening right now. And there aren't any full completed channels with this full moon by itself. But again, if you have, it's the 62nd or the 58th gate, you will feel the channel of judgment and the channel of acceptance activated for you. So what are you going to do with this information? I think it's important for us to pay attention. That's the main message that I'm getting is focus on the present, pay attention to what's going on. Don't let yourself get, distracted too much. And especially before you say or act from the shadow of opinion or judgment, really take a step back and look at the bigger picture and look at the bigger situation. And it'll show you like the real true magic that is actually happening in your life and for what reason. So yeah, super powerful energies this week, super amazing information, and a really strong and powerful full moon in Aries. So this moon is going to be happening tomorrow, but I'm sure all of us are already feeling it because the full moons tend to bring their energy in, and it builds and builds and builds, and it starts like small, but it gets bigger and it magnifies. And by the time the full moon is actually here, we feel the most intense of the energy. And also, this is a full moon that is moving us and ushering us into the eclipses. Because in 2 weeks from now, we're going to see a new moon solar eclipse in Libra, which we didn't talk about this yesterday, but we're not going to talk about the eclipse yet. This is an eclipse that's moving across the United States, the mainland of the United States. And then 6 months later, there's another eclipse that's also crossing over the mainland of the United States. And both of these eclipses are going to make this form that will literally create an X in front of the United States of America. We're also having our Pluto return. During this time, we're also having Pluto entering Aquarius. So you best believe there's going to be some revolutionary things going on for these next, 6 months to a year, where these eclipses, between these eclipses and between these eclipse seasons. So it's kind of a lot to take in. We'll talk more about that energy in 2 weeks, but for now, let's just focus on one thing at a time and activate this and be with and harness and, make the most of this energy of Aries, which is in terms of astrology, it's about passion. It's about I feel like it's the Fool energy. I feel like it's about taking action, your drive, your motivation. It's Mars ruled energy, and Mars is with the South Node. And so we're dealing with a lot of karma. We're healing karma. So you better believe that every situation that's showing up in your life right now during this full moon is karmic, and it's a resolution of karma. So I can see in my own personal life how this is a huge theme that is happening right now. So really, really interesting. But thank you guys all for being here and watching this video. Please share it on social media, share it with your friends, get more people to find this information, because really it's all about spreading the word. And the only way that I can really advertise anything that I do is literally through like people that refer me out to other people. So if you want more people to know this information, then share it out with your friends. And thank you again. I will hopefully see you all tomorrow at our full moon celebration and ritual in the global community. Again, that event is completely free to attend, and we are going to be dancing it off at Club Jai. So definitely make sure to join us for that. And this weekend we have the Kundalini Yoga for Libra season and the Sound Bath Akashic Healing Chamber for Libra season on Sunday. So there's a lot of fun stuff. Come hang out with us and feel yourself tuning into these frequencies so that you can receive the wisdom that your body, mind, spirit needs during this time. Sat Nam. I will see you next time. Have a beautiful weekend, a happy full moon, and I'll see you again soon.